Could an argument be made that we as Kenyans are expecting too much too fast from an agency that was set up just a couple of years ago?
Quite a large part of the last 2 years has actually just been spent establishing the office and establishing the relationships with all these different agencies so that you can have a much more coordinated approach. So I hope, and it is our hope, that going forward it will be able to actually implement the coordinating role a lot better and a lot more.
Counterfeiting being the capital-intensive business that it is, it needs places where fast-moving consumer goods can be stored, sold and moved from quickly. ACA investigations have pinpointed Nairobi's Eastleigh and industrial areas as key bases for either individuals who sell counterfeit goods or those who manufacture them.
It's a question of, once again, a question of business. We have go-downs in Eastleigh, so people can store goods. We have businessmen in Eastleigh who source goods from abroad, and they go direct to Eastleigh. We have clearing and forwarding farms that are based in Eastleigh. So it has all the infrastructure to kind of clear counterfeit goods and distribute. The same thing applies to industrial area. Industrial area is a place where there are very many go-downs. So people who import counterfeit goods, or even people who manufacture counterfeit goods, use industrial area, and then they use that as a point to distribute.
However much government failure is a significant part of the counterfeit problem in Kenya, the Kenyan consumer, people like you and I, have to take responsibility for this addiction to cheap and sometimes deadly bargains.
If you look at the general, poverty level in this country, we are still talking about a country where, about between 45 and 50% of the population is below the poverty line. So they are really, surviving on small, very little resources. And if they can get something where they can save a few shillings, they'll certainly go for it. Especially if you combine that with the fact that they may not know the adverse effects of actually, consuming or using counterfeits.
But surely, at some point, the ignorance defense simply doesn't work. A key example is in the rapid uptake of cheap, fake mobile phones, even though telling the differences between a genuine and a non-genuine product, more often than not, is relatively simple.
And the argument they use is it is cheaper, or it is cheaper and I can get more for one. But what they often forget is that, one, they are denying a legitimate producer a livelihood because they don't make the connection that this money doesn't get to the originator of the product. The second thing that they also don't make, especially when it comes to consumption of counterfeited goods, is that they don't make a connection that nobody can satisfy you that this is good quality and that this is good standard and that this is healthy. And a lot of fake products are very unsafe.
However, there are other cases, especially in cosmetics and pharmaceuticals, where simply having the information to distinguish a genuine product from a fake one is not enough.
You might actually know that the counterfeit battery will only last you 1 week. The other one, maybe which is 3 times or 4 times the price of this other one, will last you longer. But most of the poor people, they don't have the luxury of actually, they live moment by moment. They say, let me deal with my problem today. Then tomorrow will take care of itself, or we'll see what happens.
When you have a country where half the population lives from hand to mouth, it is also highly unlikely that ideas like the fact that if you buy a counterfeit Kenyan good, you're denying another taxpayer his or her hard-earned revenue will be taken seriously. For example, it is arguable that the hat the Eldoret North legislator wears here has become synonymous with his political brand. However, can you tell the difference between what he's wearing and these ones? Victor Mwitiki is the general manager of One Way, the firm that holds the intellectual property rights to this design, a design which someone was more than willing to knock off in order to make a quick buck.
I find it very unfair, and I'm so bitter in my heart today because somebody is trying to cash in where he's not supposed to.
Given that the Anti-Counterfeit Agency acted in this case, Victor and One Way are some of the lucky few.
The counterfeit trade is thriving simply because of price advantage. counterfeit goods are cheaper. Almost all of them are cheaper. Genuine products are comparatively more expensive. So Kenyans go for a good bargain in terms of price. They don't go for a good bargain in most cases because of quality. Our fear is that so long as Kenyans have a propensity for cheap goods, then it would make it much harder to fight trade in counterfeit goods.
A government, more often than not, is a reflection of its people. That argument dovetails neatly with the state's propensity to set up short-term cosmetic solutions to problems, regardless of whether or not it makes any economic sense.